Some people have messaged me and asked me, Jacob, how is Pulp Fiction not your favorite Tarantino movie? Jacob, Kill Bill is the greatest action movie ever made. That should have been an A+. Jacob, how are you not going to give Inglourious Basterds an A+? Guys, let me just tell you, my favorite Tarantino movie is Django Unchained. The 7th film written and directed by Quentin Tarantino came out in December, Christmas Day in 2012. My very first Tarantino movie I actually ever saw. When I was 12 at the time, I went with my mom to the theater because I was like, oh, Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, because I love him. And I was like, let's go see this movie on Christmas Day. Me and my mom went to go see this movie. And I will never forget that theater experience. I will never forget seeing this movie, and I'll never forget the times after watching this movie every single time I get a chance to. This is my favorite Tarantino movie, and you can hate me all you want, but I know a lot of people that love this movie the most. And I'm glad you agree with me. First things first, this movie is about Jamie Foxx, who plays Django. He's a slave and gets unchained by Christoph Waltz, who is a bounty hunter. He asks Django to come with him and help him kill these bounties that he needs, and then he will help Jamie Foxx. And then his deal is, come save my wife, who is a slave for Leonardo DiCaprio. And this movie is honestly every Tarantino thing you love. In my opinion, this has it. The dialogue, famous scenes, the blood, the action, the characters, just everything about this movie, to me, is perfect. I love this. This is honestly a top 10 favorite movie of all time, in my opinion. I love this movie. I love everything about it. The music, the cinematography, which should have won Best Cinematography at the time. This movie did win 2 Oscars for original screenplay, which it deserved. Supporting actor to Christoph Waltz, which I want to get into that before we actually get into more depth. I love Christoph Waltz. He is great in this role. Do not get me wrong. I love him. He is so good in this movie. He honestly, I'm okay with him winning the Oscar. But are you telling me Leonardo DiCaprio is not one of the best villains you've ever seen? He is pure evil. The dinner scene alone is like, here you go, here's your Oscar. Hell, honestly, I'd give it to Samuel Jackson before I give it to Christoph Waltz because of how good he is in this movie. Samuel Jackson is criminally underrated in this movie. He is evil bastard in this movie. I mean, he is really good in this movie, and he's hilarious in this movie. I love Samuel Jackson in this movie. But come on, guys. Leo, the famous blood scene with his hand, he should have been nominated and won. But Christoph Waltz is amazing. I'm glad he won his second one. Now back to the review. This movie's awesome, like I said. Jamie Foxx is Django. He's a badass. Like, Jamie Foxx is really good in this movie, don't get me wrong. But his character is just pure badass. I love Django. I love his attentions. He's like, I don't really care about anyone. I don't care if you crawl over me and you want to shoot me. I'm gonna kill you. I want my wife. My best friend's Christoph Waltz. He'll shoot you too. I love how he trains him. He learns him how to shoot really good, even though he's already a good shooter, but he teaches him how to even do better. I love all that stuff. Hell, I love when Jamie Foxx dresses up, even though it totally looks like Austin Powers, but he dresses up and goes after Don Johnson's farm, whatever. I love that scene, especially the Jonah Hill scene with all them wearing masks. It is hilarious. That scene had me dying every time I watch that scene. It is so funny. They can't see. I can't say shit. Like, it is so funny. This movie is hilarious. And what's even better is, this movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. It has got a great pace to it. It is so rewatchable, and it's so good to look at. Again, the cinematography in this movie, the mountains, the scene alone where he shoots the man on the horse and the blood hits the cotton. The cinematography in this movie should have won the Oscar, if you ask me. I'm sorry, it should have won. It is just so good in this movie. And Tarantino's directing is great, and of course the dialogue is, I mean, do I even have to talk about it? The dialogue's amazing. Leonardo DiCaprio, in my opinion, it's him and Christoph Waltz for Inglourious Basterds, and Leo for the best villains ever created by Tarantino. Leo is pure evil in this movie. The scene with the dogs is god-awful to watch. It is just, it's heart-wrenching to watch. And this is something I've always wanted to talk about in one of my reviews. Every time I do a movie review, deep down, I've always want to think, man, I want to do a review on Django and talk about this certain scene. My favorite shootout scene in history is the freaking ending scene with Django versus like 20 men. It's perfectly edited. The blood might be over dramatic, but it adds to the Tarantino effect and the Django Unchained film, the theme of it, and the blood and the shooting, and it just, I know some of its choreography is kind of wrong with the guy turning and he shoots him in the arm and it's like he's turned this way. I know all of that's on the internet somewhere, but that scene is a scene I literally have watched over 100 times. I love that shootout. I love it. And the music and the beat to it, how Django's rapping in the song, whatever. It's such Tarantino. It's such a great scene. I love it. I love it. And Kerry Washington as his wife is so good. And also really underrated is Walton Goggins, which at the time he was just getting out of he was still in Justified, which I actually watched and I loved it. I was like, hey, that's Boyd. But he's also really good. All the acting's great. The dialogue's amazing. The directing's honestly Tarantino's best. The characters are so memorable. There are so many great scenes. It's such a satisfying movie. It's so rewatchable. It's so good, guys. If you haven't seen Django, you need to watch Django Unchained. It is literally my favorite Tarantino movie. It's one of my favorite movies. It's got my favorite shootout, gun-out scene ever. Jamie Foxx is awesome. Leo is Oscar winning in this movie like he always is. Christoph Waltz is amazing like always with his perfect dialogue and how he talks. And I love this movie. Django Unchained, of course, gets an A+. And with that is the end of my Tarantino movie reviews. I have now reviewed every movie he has written and directed. There's a few movies that I wrote that I did not review, but I'm only doing the ones he's directing and stuff. You guys know what I mean. I have reviewed Hateful Eight, and I have reviewed Once Upon a Time. Go check those out. And I know a lot of you are asking, what is your favorite? What's your do a list, whatever. I think if you watch my reviews, you could probably make your own list. Again, I hate making a list because it's so concrete. There's days, man, where Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like some of like the best I like to watch. Then of course you have Inglourious, and then of course you have Django, and then you can't forget about Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs. But if you gotta ask, my number one, of course, right now is Django. My least favorite is Jackie Brown. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. This past week has been really fun watching these movies. Now, I need you guys to leave a comment down below and tell me another series, another director, horror, it could be anything. Just give me a movie and I will review it. I'm gonna take a few days to take off to get after a whole week of watching movies every single day like this, so I'm gonna give it back in a few days and then give me something, guys. I need something. Anyway, guys, enjoy this review. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you want to review. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye, guys.